I'm going to hand you over now to Tess. Hey, I've known Tess for a while. To Tess Maguire, who's a psychologist in Southern Health. And Tess is going to go through some of this for you about why mental health and why Ghana. Tess, please come.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon. My name's Tess, as Mark mentioned, and I'm a Kintampo project member. And I'd also like to say an enormous thank you to everyone for being here to celebrate what for us is quite an exciting day, really, the launch of our charity. And I'd also like to take just a few minutes to tell you a little bit about our project. So this is Elvis. He's one of the mental health workers that we work with in Ghana, and he's standing outside one of only 3 psychiatric hospitals in the whole of the country. In a population of 24 million Ghanaians, there are only 3 psychiatric hospitals, around 15 psychiatrists. That would compare with approximately 7,000 psychiatrists for the same number of people in the UK. So if all of the mentally ill people in Ghana stood in a line, it would be 135 miles long, and it would take roughly 2 hours to drive past all the people in that line if you were driving at 60 miles per hour. So most people simply don't get the help and support that they need. In fact, only 2 out of every 100 people with a mental illness in Ghana get the care that they need. And in Ghana, £3 million is spent on mental health, compared with £9,000 million in the UK. The psychiatric hospitals in Ghana are desperately overcrowded. There may be 5 or 6 times as many people as there are beds. So many patients sleep on bare floors and even in trees in the hospital grounds. They lack basics like beds and wheelchairs, and sometimes even run short of food and water. There's a lack of psychiatric medication and a critical shortage of mental health nurses. It's not unknown for one trained nurse to be managing over 100 patients. Many Ghanaian psychiatrists and mental health nurses in the past have left the country to work in the UK or the US because the working conditions and the training in Ghana has been so poor. And people from the villages can travel a day or more to get to hospital, and they're often left at the hospitals, and it may be 100 miles or so from their home for many years. And that's because there's such a huge stigma associated with mental illness in the country, and the families are often too frightened to have them return home. Many people in Ghana believe that if you have mental health problems, then you're possessed by an evil spirit. So many people with mental health problems are taken to spiritual healers or prayer camps to be healed. And once there, they may be beaten, starved and shackled to try to get rid of the evil spirits, because the pastors and spiritual healers might not know how else to treat them. And of course, things like this need to change. And with the support of projects like ours, things are starting to change. We're working with a training school in Ghana to train a new generation of mental health workers to start to address these difficulties and to start to improve the treatment of people with mental health problems in Ghana. Members of our project team regularly travel to Ghana to support teaching and training of these new students, and also to work across the country at all levels to ensure that the project is a success. And Rosie's going to explain to you a little bit more about exactly what we've done and some of the progress that we've made in the last few years. It's really exciting and important work, and I hope that you'll get that kind of energy from being here today. It's been a real privilege to be part of such an amazing project. And so I'd just like to say Ye Damo Ase, or thank you all for being here and for your interest, and hand you back to Mark to tell you a bit more about the work that we do.